And so we'll move on and have a look at a middleweight matchup between Pic Jardine and Bart Cruel. This is 175. And now going into this, the bookmakers had written the script on this. He had Bart Cruel at 1-5 on. It should be illegal to have any fighter so short in bare knuckle. Nothing is that certain in bare knuckle. But they had the script written, and he was supposed to walk through Pic Jardine to give him an education, to get him out there and send him on his way. And Pic Jardine had a different idea about the situation, and when they started, it was ferocious. It was a really, really solid, hard start. Bart Cruel, he came out and he was landing on Pic Jardine throughout the first half of the first round. Then I was just amazed that Jardine was able to eat a lot of this work that Cruel was teeing off on him. I mean, he was really landing. He wasn't just catching him and brushing him. He was landing flush, and Jardine was managing to eat it. And around about halfway through the first round there, you're starting to see Bart Cruel, he kind of steps off a little bit. I mean, it's very full on right up until this point, it's very relentless. And you notice Cruel kind of step off a little bit, and you can see the math going through his head there as he's pondering. He must be pondering at this point, have I read this wrong? Because I don't think he expected Jardine to be reacting as well as he had to what he was landing on him. So you can understand he might have been a bit concerned at this point if he had mismanaged himself on this fight. And he had, that this was what the case was. But you could see him step off there and ponder a second, about halfway through the first there, and then he went back to work there. And it wasn't all one way, Jardine, he was having his success as well. But I thought a lot of fighters, certainly on their debut against, an experienced and such a good fighter as Bart Cruel, they would have panicked under such a situation. Both of these fighters had the opportunity there to kind of to tame that pace down that they were at, and neither of them wanted to give way on it. Even though Cruel was getting the better of Jardine, Jardine did not look interested in taming the pace down on that. And, the confidence in that, I thought was really impressive. I thought the maturity with which he dealt with that, like I said, I think a lot of fighters would have panicked in that situation and maybe made a mess of things. But Jardine, he remained composed, even though Cruel was getting the better of him. And you could see maybe he was reading what was going on with Cruel, and he was managing his fight. By the end of the first round, I was getting the impression that Pic Jardine, he knew himself better than Cruel did, better than Cruel knew himself. And I think he knew what he had left there. And Cruel, he kind of put a lot of those eggs in that basket in the first. And I think Jardine could see that. And going into the second there, very much a case of everything that Cruel had dished out to Jardine in the first there, he just repaid. And it wasn't all one way. It wasn't all plain sailing in either of these two rounds. But by the end of the second, it was a round each. And even without, Jardine, he put Cruel down at in the second there, but even without that down, he would have won the second there. And you can start to see that Pic Jardine, he's managed himself. His fight management was a lot better than Bart Cruel there. And going into the third, Pic, he just looked stronger. Bart Cruel, he got it all wrong. And, he was coming into this thinking he was going to give Jardine an education. And, you get the feeling that going out of this fight, he's learned a little something there. And certainly by the end of the fight, you forgot entirely that Cruel was a 1-5 favourite and Pic Jardine was on his debut. So for me, for that reason, the maturity and the fight management skills that Jardine had shown through this fight, for me, he gets performance of the event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 35 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by TKO, the Mauler Pic Jardine.
And I know it was only one fight, but Jardine showed so much in that he could take punches, he can continue to weaponize pace, come forward, this guy, he's going to want to try and make a push very quickly for that 175-pound title.